Welcome to this presentation on self-talk. My name is Gary Tomlinson, and I'll be the narrator for this education. We're all creatures of habit, and our habits control most of our lives. Studies have shown that as much as 88% of our behavior is dictated by our habits. The things we think about on a routine basis impact our behavior greatly. For example, if we think we can, or if we think we can't, we're going to be right. What we think about happens. So where do these habits of thought come from? The short answer is our childhoods. Psychologists have discovered that up to 95% of our basic mental habits and attitudes are developed by the time we're 5 years of age. Think about the things you learned from your parents or other well-meaning adults as a child. For example, things such as don't talk to strangers, don't speak to unless spoken to, don't bite off more than you can chew, don't make a spectacle of yourself, don't do that. As a result, we have habits of thinking about not doing things wrong rather than habits of doing things right. For example, did you ever play baseball or softball, and when it was your turn to get up at bat, you had a thought that said, "Oh Lord, please don't let me strike out," instead of thinking, "I'm going to hit this out of the park." We're in the habit of avoiding bad things rather than seeking out the good things. The voices in our heads echo those of our parents' admonishments rather than becoming our own voices of encouragement. Habits control so much of our lives. It makes sense then to make sure that the habits we have are helping us reach our goals and not inadvertently moving us in the wrong direction. Our minds, our attitudes, and our deeply embedded beliefs may be the greatest obstacles to overcome in achieving our potential. As a child, we learn about limitations very early. Combine the early negative conditioning with the fact that most of what we hear on a daily basis in the news is negative. Is it any wonder then that most people think about what's wrong, how they might fail, and why it won't work, rather than what's right, how can they succeed, and how can they make it work? We hold on to one or more of these contradictory attitudes that limit our ability to create what we truly want. These limiting beliefs can actually direct us away from the things we want most. Two of the most common limiting attitudes is one, a belief in one's own powerlessness, and two, a belief in one's unworthiness. Many people believe they don't really have the power in themselves to affect change, and they're destined to have in the future what they have in the present. In addition, many people also believe they don't deserve to have more or to be better off later than they are now. Since attitudes are habits of thought, they are deeply ingrained. The formation of new habits can take days, weeks, or months to become an integral part of our behavior. And while the task may not be easy, it can be done. What you say about yourself, and more importantly, what you believe about yourself, can greatly influence what you do and how you feel. Self-talk is a habit. We all have that tape loop running in our heads, that voice that constantly tells us to react or what to expect from situations. What's on that tape is either positive or negative. It's either helpful or it's not. Affirmations are the positive form of self-talk. That is, they play the positive tapes instead of the negative ones. Affirmations are the positive statements which describe the person you wish to become. To work properly, affirmations should possess the following characteristics. One is they should be positive. Two, they should be statements in the first person singular, starting with the word I. They should be expressed in the present tense. They should be within your capacity to believe, and they need to directly be related to your goals. For example, I'm the top salesperson in my company. I accomplish the goals I set for myself. I do the things necessary to get what I want in life. As you know, change is tough. However, the use of affirmations can be a great tool for achieving your goals. Affirmations, that powerful self-talk, will reinforce your self-confidence and inspire you to achieve more. So remember that self-talk is a habit. What you say about yourself, and more importantly, what you believe about yourself, can greatly influence what you do and how you feel. Research shows that we have approximately 5,000 conversations a day with ourselves, and for most of us, the majority of those self-conversations are negative. But it doesn't have to be that way. Affirmations are the positive form of self-talk. Affirmations are the positive statements which describe the person you wish to become. Because if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you'll be right. So I'd like to leave you with this. When it's your next turn at bat at the plate of light, be positive and think about how you're going to hit it out of the park. The education for this presentation came from Elephant University's Mastering Sales Magnetism program, taught by Tim Moore.